Hi everyone, I'm David. I was just about to start some playtesting and I thought I will throw caution to the wind and I'll take you along. So I won't go through all the narrative section because that's still all with the proofreaders and playtesters, and I've already started off my character, so I'll show you what I've got. I'm currently using, I think this is the Legendary Dungeon character sheet because it was the only one I've got printed off, so I've modified it slightly. I'm toying with the idea of doing a specific one for the Frozen Woods expansion, just because it's trying to, because there are potions that you can find, but there is the forage mechanic. So I was thinking of adding in like a sack section. But any feedback you got for that would be appreciated. So obviously I'm starting off with a level 1 character, 10 hit points, shift 2, discipline 1, precision 0. All this is as per the base game. I'm using one of the custom weapons from this expansion. I'm using the Scythe, and we have the Reap and the Heavy Swing, which is a 6-2, which is D6, and a 4-3, which is D6 -1. And we're taking along a Quilted Coat. So on primary 3s, we reduce the damage by 1. And in our items, we have a Fire Steel, a Foraging Knife, a Bone Needle and Thread, and 2 sacks, which are empty. So I've got my rules ready with a few little bookmarks in there. I have got to update this because I did lose some files, unfortunately. But Tabletop Wanderer has done some good playtesting and picked out a few little mistakes I've made. So big shout out to him for doing that. But we are getting there. So I'll get through to the room section. And I don't have long to do playtesting because I've got a few jobs I need to get on with, but I thought at least we can roll a few rooms. You can see a few of the rooms that I've made as we explore, and I'll try and dive into and use each one of the mechanics. So hopefully we'll see some foraging, we'll see some backtracking, we'll see how the lost level increases. On that note, just to keep track of it, I've decided to make this little Forager and tracker card. This isn't part of the current testing documents, but I've used it a couple of times and it's really useful. So I'll be adding that into the file. So if you are a playtester, next time you get the revised testing documents out, that will be included. Yeah, let's go. So I'll have my primary dice as 1 and the yellow dice as my secondary dice, and we will start off by going east. So we've got a 2x6 room. So we're going across this way. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and let's see how many doors we've got. Well, exits. 3 exits. So there's no point having one going this way, so we might as well just have the 2. Now regarding the loss tracker, because we're moving out of one of the starting clearings, we don't actually increase the loss level, so this is a free room. And we pulled room 6-5. So let's see what that is. 6-5. Now I've tested this room myself already, and it's probably one of the hardest rooms to pull at the start. 6-5 is thick mist. The air around you becomes thick with the choking mist, unable to see more than a few feet ahead. You grope round in a panic. From out of the soup, a strange, deep sound resonates. Before you, a giant toad leaps into view and attacks. After resolving the combat, increase your loss level by 2, or roll on FRE1, which is the random encounter stable. So the got into the first room, and it is one of the hardest enemies, one of the hardest normal enemies you can face, which is the colossal toad. He's a level 2 creature. Okay, colossal toad. So the Colossal Toad, he has 18 hit points. He is worth, however, 85 XP, which is awesome. He's got a +1 shift. He's got no treasure. His interrupt, he has a huge leap on secondary 4s, 5s, and 6s, so he's good at avoiding, and that gives him a -2 on his damage. His attacks, he has on a primary 5, secondary 6, he has a tongue whip, which is d6 damage, and on primary 3, secondary 5s, he has crushing jaws, which is d6 +1. And his narrative is the colossal toad lurking deep within the frozen woods, hiding beneath roots and snow and mud. It attacks suddenly with crushing jaws, powerful leaps, and a long whip-like tongue. So, let's see how you get on, mate. And I'm just going to use this to track his HP. So he's got 18 health points, and we're starting on round 1. In fact, I'll bring this in so we can see this a little bit better. So I'll attack first. Now I've got a 2-4. I've got my 2 shift. So a 2 could go up to a 4, doesn't do anything. No, so I can't attack. He attacks. Double 3s. He's only the 1 shift, so that can't come down, so he misses. So this now goes up to round 2. So it's mine. I get double 6. It's awesome. I can't quite remember what. It's not an exact strike, is it? Because that's if you roll it exactly. Where are we? Combat. 22. I've literally just been watching a combat rule video that Toby's done. Shift enter a combat sequence, shifting dice. Bum. Missing, mishap. Off the top of my head because can't see off the top of my head, so I'm just gonna, because I can't think of what a dual 6 is for the player, I'm just gonna count that as an exact strike. So I'm gonna have that d6 plus my shift. But I think that bypasses. Does it bypass his armor? Possibly. I'm going to do that. Inventive usage. Or forgot the rules. 1. So 1 plus my shift, that's 2. So he loses 3. So that's 15. That probably wasn't right, but we're going to let that slide in some testing. So Colossal Toad attacks. And he gets a 5-1. So he can't shift to anything. So we move on to round 3, and that's the last one before the shifts start going up. So my attack, I get a 5-2. So I can shift that 5 to a 4, and that 2 to a 3, so I can do my heavy swing. And he gets a huge leap on secondary 4s, 5s, and 6s, so his interrupt doesn't actually do anything, so I do d6 -1 damage. So that's 3 damage, that takes him down to 12. And he returns. 6, 5. No, he can't quite attack yet. Had that been the next round, he would have been able to attack. So we'll move that up to 1. 4, and the shift bonus becomes 1. So now got 3 shift. I get a 6, 4. So again, I can do my heavy swing. That 6 can go down to a 4. That's using 2 of my shift points, and I've got 1 shift point left. So that 4 can go back down to a 3. So it's d6 minus 1 again. Not rolling well. Which one did I roll? Did I roll the 3? Yes, I rolled the 3, I think. So that's 2. Colossal Toad attacks with a 3-2. So no, he can't attack. And if I miss one, please tell me. I attack on 2-2. So I can do my Reap, which is straight d6 attack, and again, he only interrupts on 4s, 5s, and 6s on secondaries. So it's a straight d6 this time. 5 damage, much better. Took off half of his health. He returns. 2-1. Again, he can't attack, which is brilliant news for me. I'd love to finish him off without taking any damage, but this last time I fought him, he nearly killed me. 6-2. And I've got the full 3 shift. So 6-2, I can do d6 damage, but that 6 can go down to a 3. So he's straight d6, a 5 or a 6, he will be defeated. 4, obviously. He's down to 1. Colossal Toad attacks. He gets a 4-1. And he's got 4 shift point, hasn't he? Yes, 4 shift. So no, he can't attack. I think. No. No, he can't. Okay, so now this class is round 7, so movement-based interrupts don't actually do anything, so he won't be able to use his second leap. His huge leap, sorry. But neither of my attacks would affect that anyway. So I attack. 2-5. So I'll just... Yeah, I'll do Reap. So he's defeated. Easy. Surprisingly. Last time he nearly killed me. That's brilliant. So he's worth 85 XP, which is basically me nearly to level 2, which is really, really good. He has no treasure, but now I have the choice. I can either, because of what this room is, I had the choice of increasing my loss level by 2 because it's thick mist, or rolling on the random encounter table. And I think we'll go for a random encounter. So FRE1. Which I think's there. 2 seconds. Yeah. FRE1, random encounters, which is 2d6 table. 5, 6, so we got an 8. You find a torn piece of fabric on a thorn-covered bush that looks to be from one of your children's blankets. You may be on the right track. Reduce your loss level by 1. Now that would be good, but currently my loss level is at 0, and you can't go below 0, and you can't go above 6. So non-event. So just we'll carry on. So we're going to go out this way. And now, because I'm moving, because it's not a starting area and it's not a backtracking area, my loss level is now going to go to 1. And when that gets to 6, then we have to roll on the loss table. But we'll get that later. So 4 by 1. And we'll see how many exits we've got. Oh, none. So no exits, it's a corridor, so there's no encounters. But to carry on, we've got to go back into this area, which means we have to roll on the backtracking table. So we're going back into an area that we've already explored. Now there are 2 backtracking tables. The first one is for general exploration, and there's a second, slightly harder backtracking table that we start using once we're heading back, because we have to explore the whole map before the central core opens up. And that's the second backtracking table. But this is backtracking table 1, and it's 2d6. For rich dark red berries have sprouted on a thorny bush that restore up to 4 HP. See, backtracking can be good. So I can either with any of the things you forage, you can either consume them straight away, which would be pointless because I'm on full health, or I can store them in one of my sacks. Now I've got 2 sacks as part of my starting equipment, so I'm just going to record that down here and just put berries. And they do plus 4 HP. Excellent. So now I've finished in this area, I'm going to move on. I'm going to go and explore this area, but because this is a new area, this now increases to 2. 5 by 6. Let's see how many rooms, how many exits is. 2 exits. So 5 across, 6 up. So I'll have 1 going across. 1 going up. Let's see what we've got happening in this one. 6, 6. Why can't I roll these big numbers when I'm in combat? Six, 6 is the hunting ground. Blood is splattered across the snow, and at the clearing centre is the body of a foe pierced by many arrows. As you move towards the body, you hear rustling from the trees. A poacher charges towards you, mistakenly thinking you're there to steal his prey. Following this encounter, you may find the poacher's small equipment stash. Roll on ART1 and MIT1. Cool. So I have a poacher to attack, which again is one of the new creatures. And luckily for us, he's quite an easy one. And he potentially has a potion on him as well, which is really good. Okay, so let's reset the combat. It's round 1. Now the poacher, because he's like one of the most basic encounters, he has 7 HP, XP of 12. So he... No, even if we defeat him, we're not going to increase level 2 on this round. He has 1 shift. His treasure, he has a random potion, which is a roll in the original Codex potions. His interrupts, he has a side dive on secondary 5s, which gives him -1. His attack, he has a chop on primary 3, secondary 2s, which is d6 -2 damage. And his little narrative is, only the most desperate and hardy woodsmen would ever steal from the frozen woods. They're skilled hunters and can sneak up on even the most perceptive of foes. So let's see what we can do with you, matey. My pencil there? Yes, that's my pencil. Right, so I attack first. And I get a 5 and 6. It's no good. He attacks for 1. So he can't do anything. We're up to 2. I get a 4/5. So I can drop the secondary 5 down to a 3 and do a heavy swing, which is d6 -1, and he doesn't block on that. So 4, 7 to start off with. What was it? d6 -1, so 4, 3 damage, so he's on 4 HP now. He returns. 5/5, he can't do anything. Move up to round 3. I've generally got a double 6 again. I need to double check these rules. I'm going to count that as an exact strike on whatever I choose. I'll reap. So that's 3, plus my shift, which is 2, 5. So he dies. Easy. That was, I definitely need to check out what a double 6 is. Prime attack, sorry, for the player character, if he gets one, that is. So I get to roll on for the encounter. It's PT1 -1, and before I forget, because I always forget this in the base game, he's worth 12 XP, so that's 1297 I'm on now. And I get to roll on PT1, which is that should PT1. I think that should be PT1. I think that's meant to be POT1, isn't it? I don't think there is a PT1. I think it's POT1. Let me check. Oh no, PT1. Pouch table. It's not a potion he's got, it's a pouch. So page 23. Yeah, page 23, pouch table 1. So that's 2d6. And it's PT1 -1. So I roll 11, I get 10. There are some Ziamorous leaves and 2 low quality gems. Roll twice on GMT1 -2. GMT1 -2. That's on page 15. There we go. That's D6. 2. So, it's -2, isn't it? So I think that means I don't get any. GMT1 -2. I rolled a 2. So you can either say I get a pearl and it drops down. I don't know if when it drops, because it should have been a sapphire if it was straight roll. If it was GMT1 -1, it would drop down to a pearl. Because it's -2, does that mean basically I find coal? Which I think is an interesting point, which I haven't actually thought about before. Worth considering. Worth asking Toby. I'll ask Toby. Send him a message. Anyway, I did get some leaves, didn't I? I'll write them down later. But for this one, hunting ground, ART1, so that's a random piece of armor, and MIT1. Let's have a look. So ART1 is in the codex on page 15, according to my notes. Hopefully this is something I can use. ART1 up here. I don't think it's making a difference. 3. Quilted coat, which is exactly what I've got. I have 2 of them. And mitt one, which is a metal item. Possibly part of his poaching equipment, maybe part of a trap, maybe. That's 4. A metal bucket. He was trying to trap something in a very ridiculous way. Cool. I don't have much time left, but we will try and do a couple of things. I still have 1 foraging bag left. Obviously the one's full of the berries that we got from this backtracking encounter. So I'm going to try foraging in this room and fill up my other spare bag whilst I'm still on full health. So let's have a look at these tables. If I can find them. You'd think adding all these little notes in would be a lot easier. Here we go. Now you can forage it. Sorry, you can forage in any room once. Well, sorry, any clearing once. As long as you've resolved all the encounters in there, you can forage in there. You don't have to forage the first time you go in there because you might be at full health and all your foraging pouches might be full. So it's a good. It's probably useful that you just mark when you foraged. Now this one I haven't foraged in, but it was the stuff I got from there was from a random event. So in my mind, you can still forage in that one if I backtrack through that later. But let's have a go at foraging in here. This is the initial foraging table, and then depending on what happens, we may have to move through some more, but that'll be indicated by what we roll. So it's just a d6 roll. So roll 2. You find some mushrooms growing on a rotten log. Roll on FFU1, which is the fungus table. 5. The mushrooms help focus your mind, reducing your loss level by 4, but it's mildly poisonous, causing 2 HP damage. I don't think I need that yet, because it reduced the loss level by 4, and I'm only on 2 at the moment. And I'd rather possibly use that when I'm at a slightly higher level, because although it's only 2 HP, unless I can use that in conjunction with another item that's restoring health. But I'll write that down. We'll take that with us. We won't use it right now. Yeah, we'll keep that in a foraging pouch. But yeah, that's just a little overview of what the game looks like. I'm sorry it wasn't longer. Unfortunately, I haven't got much time. I will finish writing those little notes, and I will, when I do my next playtesting, when I'm on my own, I'll start off a new sheet, and I'll keep this one, and hopefully when we've got a bit more time, we'll revisit this map and this character, and we'll follow on, look at some more mechanics, look at some more rooms. But for now, thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you all soon. Cheers.